Hey guys, Disney is in trouble. Yeah, you know that company that made $28 billion in profit in 2022? It's like totally dying. Yes, even the concept of the world's most popular entertainment company being in serious trouble is kind of silly, but there's no denying that Disney's reputation has taken a hit recently. The MCU is showing signs of fatigue, Star Wars has been a rollercoaster of quality, Pixar's becoming more of a streaming studio, and Disney proper feels like it's stuck in a remake rut. 2023 was admittedly a rough year for Disney. Well, if rough means being the second highest grossing distributor of the year so far. But when you stack it up against the Disney of 2015, you can't help but notice they're sticking to the old playbook, unaware that folks are starting to tire of the same kind of movies from the House of Mouse. So I'm certainly not someone who thinks Disney is getting woke and getting broke. After all, they've come through periods like this in the past, and always come back swinging. But what I am saying is their lineup could certainly use a dash of excitement to redeem themselves in the eyes of some fans. So that's where I come in. I'm the fresh face in the room, hired as the brand new advisor for CEO Bob Iger. Mr. Iger, it's time we prove Disney is still number one. God damn it. For you today, I have 5 new juicy ideas for movies that are current, fresh, and quite honestly, gonna make you a ton of money. But sir, as I am a company man and you've hired me for this role, I've tried to get into your head, tried to think how you think, and that's why these movies are not only perfect for audiences, but also the Walt Disney Company. Mr. Iger, these are my 5 movies to save Disney. Number 5. Epic Mickey. For those unfamiliar, this video game dropped in 2010, presenting a darker, more twisted version of the Disney universe we all thought we knew. The game itself is somewhat of an overlooked gem that had extremely innovative storytelling, imaginative game design, and a visual style that paid tribute to Disney's animation history, while also pushing into new, darker territories. In Epic Mickey, Mickey Mouse stumbles upon a model of a distorted Disneyland called the Wasteland, which sounds exactly as cheery as you'd expect. It's a realm inhabited by forgotten Disney characters. At its heart stands Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Walt Disney's first ever cartoon creation. Feelings of abandonment have made Oswald resentful, particularly towards Mickey, the younger star who replaced him in the hearts of audiences worldwide. As Mickey ventures deeper into the wasteland, he confronts the consequences of his actions, endeavours to mend a fractured world, all while searching for a route back to his own world. Now, Bobby. Can I call you Bobby? Oh, you prefer Bob. I can see you getting nervous over there. After all, taking our ever-lovable Mickey and throwing him into a world where he's the potential bad guy. Yeah, it's risky. But listen, in an age where anti-heroes and complex protagonists rule the screen, imagine taking Mickey, the embodiment of wholesomeness, and putting him in a setting where he grapples with his past mistakes and seeks redemption. I mean, Bob, come on. Isn't it about time Disney ventured back into the darker, twistier tales that gave us unforgettable experiences like Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas? And speaking of that movie, just tossing it out there, what about going full stop motion for Epic Mickey? Now, let's be real, the box office is heating up with video game adaptations. They're hot right now. And while Disney's got a relatively short list of original games to pull from, Epic Mickey is an absolute standout. Don't worry, we'll get to the other one soon enough. Plus, isn't it somewhat bizarre that the face of Disney, Mickey Mouse, barely gets a cinematic spotlight? So, Bobby, this is our chance to reinvent and rejuvenate a classic character for a whole new generation, while also celebrating what came before. What do you say? Number 4. Jack and the Beanstalk. Audiences have a particular soft spot for 2 things when it comes to Disney: animated fairy tale adaptations and musicals. Checks notes. Yes, Bobby, you're right. Frozen did make you $1 trillion. That's a very good point. Deep diving into untapped Disney fairy tales, there are several contenders. Little Red Riding Hood very nearly made the cut. I think I've actually got a pretty good pitch for an adaptation of that movie, but we'll keep that for a future list. So what we've done is zeroed in on the classic Jack and the Beanstalk. Beanstalk. For those Disney historians in attendance, you'd be aware that a rendition of this tale titled Gigantic was once in the works. Set against the backdrop of Spain's age of exploration, it sketched out a world of cloud-hidden giants. We had Jack befriending Inma, a colossal 11-year-old, 60 feet tall giantess who was all shades of feisty, while 120-foot storm giants loomed as the antagonists. I mean, this sounds pretty good, right? But it wasn't just a story. The crew roped in for Gigantic was nothing short of legendary. Nathan Greno, one half of the geniuses behind Tangled, helmed the director's chair. And guess who were crafting the tunes? None other than Christian Anderson and Robert Lopez of Frozen fame. Yes please. Whispers around Tinseltown suggest that the film's axing was due to narrative difficulties, with concerns about fleshing out the story for a full-length feature. But should that really be the tombstone for a project that seems to basically be Disney doing what they do best? Now, as Bob Iger's self-appointed right-hand man, I would hand Gigantic over to a writing team for a revival. And Bob, if you ever think about challenging me on this, I would like to quietly remind you that iterations of Frozen were literally in development for over 7 decades. And that made you, what was that number again? Oh yes, trillions. Number 3. Pirates of the Caribbean. Rumours of a new Pirates of the Caribbean movie has swirled around for years now, and it's hardly surprising. Even as the franchise has reduced in quality with every new entry, it has continued to make sizable bank. Whenever the news of a new Pirates movie hits the interweb, there's always a jumbo-sized parrot in the room, Mr. Depp. Post that brain-rotting Depp versus Heard showdown, everyone's divided. Me, personally, couldn't give 2 pieces of 8, quite frankly. With Depp's rep a tad scuffed up, here's a brainwave. Bobby, let's animate the pirates. Arr, you heard me right. Yes, we are going to be focusing on the origins of arguably the most recognisable pirate in the world. I know, origin stories can be a drag. Remember Solo? But hear me out. Captain Jack Sparrow, not yet the legend but a scrappy young lad, navigating the harsh disparities and oppressions of a society controlled by the East India Trading Company. These aren't the fun tales of treasure maps, these are stories of Jack fighting for his next meal and making morally grey choices while doing so. This isn't just a cash grab, this will be a story with something to say. Jack's origins will play on similar themes as other contemporaries that tackle inequality class struggle. Think themes like Joker, Parasite and Squid Game. Yeah, okay, I'll be honest, I kinda do just want to see one of these critique of capitalism type movies told by animated pirates. That would be pretty good. And to all you boring capitalistic pigs, we've got the fun Disney stuff too. What if Davy Jones swings into our tale? Yeah, that Davy Jones. Remember the tensions between him and Jack in Dead Man's Chest? There's history there, mate. In our animated epic, they're actually unlikely pals, both rebels with a cause, teaming up against the weight of their societal chains. Their budding bromance sets the stage for the infamous Black Pearl deal, the whole reason why Davy Jones is after Jack in Dead Man's Chest. When we find out where Jack has come from, we'll find out that this isn't about just getting a ship. He's acquiring status, freedom, a shot at life. But that debt is more than just ink on a parchment, it's a haunting spectre. It will change how we think of Jack and redefine the pre-existing pirate saga, all while keeping the essence untouched. Now I guess we have to get back to that parrot in the room, Johnny Depp. We could always rope him back for some voice work, given that it's just his voice, maybe the drama wouldn't follow as much. If not, or if we think he's not sounding youthful enough for a young Jack, no sweat, who hasn't tried their hand at a Captain Jack Sparrow impression? We've got a sea of voice talents out there that could nail the role. Not to mention, they'd be way cheaper too. Now, Mr. Bob Iger, no doubt there'll be some neck-bearded warriors ready to take shots at this movie, right? I want to make it a priority that we get a really hot director on this project. And that goes for the script too. This all needs to be in tip-top shape. We want to give this movie the best chance out of the gate. Number 2, Lilo and Stitch. Okay, I know I'm technically cheating on this one as there is actually a Lilo and Stitch live action remake in development, but stick with me, there's a reason for its inclusion on this list. When it comes to Disney live action remakes, they normally fit into one of two camps. There's the ones that actually have potential in the realistic live action medium, and the ones that have no business being adapted. Lion King, we're looking at you. So where does Lilo and Stitch fall? Given the news that Dean Fletcher camp of Marcel the Shell with shoes on fame would helm it, I was shocked. I mean, that's honestly the perfect director for a Stitch movie. And by the way, if you haven't seen Marcel the Shell, do yourself a favour and watch it. I cried, it's a freaking masterpiece. Then they announced that Zach Galifianakis was cast as Jumba. What? What's going on here? This is the perfect casting, Bob. Are you actually trying with a live action Disney movie? But you like to hurt me, don't you, Bob? A Disney Plus exclusive. Really, Bob? Really? Anyone who knows anything about Disney can see why this is such an idiotic decision. Lilo and Stitch was arguably the crown jewel of the House of Mouse from the 2000s, and Stitch, he's a merchandise powerhouse on a worldwide scale. I'd even say he gives Mickey Mouse a run for his money in Disney parks. And try walking through Primark here in England. Ah yes, there's Stitch toolkit, exactly what I wanted, thank you mum. Disney clearly recognises that Stitch remains a major draw, hoping he'll entice subscribers to their platform. However, relegating Lilo and Stitch to a Disney Plus release seems like a baffling oversight. It risks devaluing it to a secondary status. Just look at the fate of other Disney live action films exclusive to that platform. Peter Pan and Wendy, Lady and the Tramp and Pinocchio. Their debut had some fanfare, but soon get buried under the avalanche of new content that inundates streaming services every day. These movies tend to exude a vibe of reduced investment and attention to detail. Given the probable budget constraints of a Disney Plus release, I shudder at the thought of the potential inconsistencies in Stitch's CGI render. Lilo and Stitch bizarrely stands out as a diamond in the rough. You ever seen the Paddington movies? That's what we should be aiming for with this. With genuine long-term franchise potential. It was a heartfelt and intimate family story of a little girl and her alien juxtaposed against this massive sprawling backdrop of cosmic chaos and intergalactic drama. Stitch's escape from prison, the dramatic spaceship chases, they all belong on an IMAX screen. And once we've set the stage with a bang-on cinematic introduction, the possibilities are endless. Re-explore ideas from the sequels, heck, even cook up a fresh interstellar adventure for our mischievous blue furball. Bobby mate, dumping this on Disney Plus just isn't it. This all might reflect more on how Disney has presented its streaming service. And maybe Lilo and Stitch has the power to improve how the content is viewed generally, but for now, whoever gave the green light to send Stitch to Disney Plus deserves a good smack on the head. And coming in at number 1. Do you remember when Into the Spider-Verse dropped and basically changed the whole animation industry? Yeah, Disney included. If Disney wants to dive back into the fray and prove they're still the top dogs, guess what? They've got the perfect Uno reverse card. I'm talking about Kingdom Hearts. Now, if you've been living under a rock, or maybe just not a gamer, I'm gonna do the seemingly impossible and try to explain the story of Kingdom Hearts in very basic terms. Kingdom Hearts follows a young boy named Sora, who teams up with Disney icons such as Donald Duck and Goofy. Together they traverse through various Disney worlds, battling dark forces called the Heartless. It's got all your favourite Disney characters from Aladdin to Elsa teaming up and battling darkness, finding their pals, and hopping from one Disney world to the next. And if you're up for a more extensive explanation, check out this 3.5 hour breakdown. No thank you. This isn't just Disney's attempt at a massive crossover, this is their masterstroke. This is Disney's Spider-Verse, this is Disney's Endgame. This would be a crossover movie that Disney fans have fantasized about for decades. The most exciting part about adapting Kingdom Hearts is that Disney can still prove they're atop the animation industry. It's actually kind of odd to think that Disney is currently at the bottom of the pile when it comes to the actual unique artistry of their movies, but Kingdom Hearts could and should prove they're still number 1. This would be a celebration of their history. Imagine Aladdin's world animated in all of its Renaissance glory, then popping into Nightmare Before Christmas for a stop motion sequence, before heading into a Pinocchio scene, which would would be crafted to pay homage to the groundbreaking classic hand-drawn style that has set stage for Disney's future masterpieces. Okay Bobby, yes I hear ya. Kingdom Hearts is way too complex. The storyline's a maze. Well yeah, alright yeah, well here's a thought. I'd be tempted to pinch someone who's worked on Puss in Boots: The Last Wish or Across the Spider-Verse to basically massage this story down into an adaptation that could take place in a trilogy of movies. What do you mean, don't you think Kingdom Hearts might be a bit too niche? No Bob, just picture the trailers. We're talking about a parade of Disney's finest with Mickey Mouse, Donald and Goofy leading the charge. And trust me, folks will flock. We're in an era where video game flicks are booming and Eastern inspired storytelling is finally making waves in the West. It's not just about box office gold, though that's a given. Think much bigger. Merch out the wazoo, theme park rides, the works. Am I talking your language now, Bobby? And that's our list. Which of my pitches would you most like to see on the big screen? Do you have an idea for a movie to save the Walt Disney Company? Leave any and all thoughts in the comment section down below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've been Connor for SLUURP, and I'll see you in the next one.
Monsters, tell me, do you believe in those monsters? I'm talking dreams so big that they'll haunt you, or they'll calm you. That's how you know if you gotta go and get it, get to winning, not